Alright, welcome to our first Liberty session. So this is the Liberty First Contact session, and I'm currently doing the Nadine Lindenhoff's Liberty Academy, and I wanted to share with you some things, and I wanted it to be exclusive to Patreon. Now this first contact session is going to be posted on YouTube as kind of like a trailer, or like, hey, here's this first freebie, but the rest of them are going to be posted as Patreon exclusives. Because, I'm displaying Nadine's techniques here. I'm learning Liberty in a better context. My first Liberty education was from Pirelli, and that was you must have a round pen, you must have the horse in a smaller space in order to do it, and you must have the horse learn a few things first. But Nadine's approach is the horse doesn't need to know anything else, anything first. The horse doesn't even need to be halter trained. You just need to start approaching in a big enough area where the horse can get away from you if they want, and you can get away from the horse if you need to. So this is in his pasture. I chose his pasture because it is a large space. He lives out in this pasture. He already picks through absolutely everything in there. This is just showing a piece of the pasture. I assure you it's more grassy than this in the rest of the area. This is just the area where he has his corner next to his girls, who are currently being dry lotted. So that's why there's more traffic around here, because he likes to stand next to them sometimes. And that was part of the program. Like, you have to have some buddy horses around and be okay with them kind of going back to their comfort corner with their little herd, and that's okay. And so this is like the widest angle that I could get on my camera. And I tried desperately to try to like predict exactly how to stay in frame, and that shelter in the background there is really helping my estimations, but I apologize for kind of getting out of frame at some points. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to stay in frame. But yeah, this is our first contact session. So he was with me for a few minutes, and then this is the point where he starts trying to figure out, like, what are we doing? Because I usually, when I come in, I catch him, and then we go directly to our grooming session in the barn. So he's trying to figure out what's going on, if I have treats for him. I do not currently have treats for him. This is part of the training where, like, this is the relationship building part. I'm trying to get him to follow me and kind of hang out with me. So no treats. I only have one in my pocket for the end when I do catch him, so that we can do our other training session. But I'm trying to get him to figure out, like, hey, and if he wants to be with me and next to me, he needs to... Because right now I'm trying to get him to back off. Yeah. He has a space sharing issue. And it shows with the other horses too. So whenever he has another horse in his pasture, if he likes them and that horse allows it, he's just like right up next to them. Like, he has to be touching them. And he acts the same with humans. He has to be touching them. He's not completely blind, but he is sight impaired. And so right now he's trying to get my attention. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm right here. Catch me. Let's go. Because he knows what's next. He actually does like his training sessions. I have not had a problem catching him ever since we started our training sessions in the 4 years that I've had him. So he doesn't understand what I'm doing here, because this is new to our routine. And so what I'm trying to tell him is, we can hang out. We don't have to always be doing something. And if you want to hang out with me, I'll scratch you, because he likes scratches. And this is a big part, because he decided... Yeah, I'm trying to get him to back off, and he's just not go... Because I don't want to hit him. I'm trying to get him to back off from the sound. There we go. He figured it out. From the sound of the whip. So I'm making a ch-ch-ch sound as well, because I'm trying to establish that that sound, since he can't necessarily see me very well, that hey, that's a sound that says you're getting too close, get off. This is too dangerous. So I want to establish that as a sound. So if he gets to right now and the corresponding first contact sessions that I had after this, I'm just trying to say, hey, if you get too close, I'm going to make that sound and I'm going to leave. Because he likes being around me. Not every horse will do this, but this is what I'm starting to decide that is appropriate for him. So he is uncomfortable with people on his right side. So whenever I do training with him or anything or handling, sometimes he'll choose for me to be on his right side, but generally he's uncomfortable with that part. I'm just strolling. I didn't try to get him. He just looked at me. He's like, "Oh, you moved." So at this point, he kind of got bored with me and figured out that I wasn't going to immediately catch him. And he went back to check on his girls. He's the only gelding on property. And I say his girls, I don't own those horses, but he doesn't know that. Horses have no concept of ownership. So he just thinks they're the girls. I have to look after them because even though he's a gelding, he still has a very strong sense of protect the herd, I've noticed. And that's just about any herd he's in. Like if he's in a herd of geldings, he'll try to be top gelding and he'll try to look out for them. But if he's around the ladies, he does not spar them. He is nice to them and gentle. He usually picks the one that's nicest to him. So I'm not even sending him away. I'm just strolling off camera right here. He's just watching. He's like trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing, just strolling around. Look at his face. And basically what I'm doing is I'm coming back to directly behind him, his tail. And then I stop if he looks at me, and then I keep going if he doesn't. And I mean, like I said, it's part of the Liberty Academy First Contact. I think her First Contact session is part of a free thing that she has. It's Nadine Lindenhoff, Equus Imperia. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's Equestria Imperia. So, I like it. She's very much she studies the neurology of the horse, so like the physical like structure of the brain and what it does and what it is likely, what kind of perspective the horse might have on the world. And it's very, very interesting. You know, she doesn't waste time on the right brain, left brain personality test horse thing, because that ultimately doesn't matter. It's just like, what perspective does the horse have based off of the structure of their brain that we know of. I mean, we will never have 100% because we're not a horse. And yeah, so right now I'm trying to get him to just follow me, because I don't think I will continue with the next thing in Liberty until he will follow me on a nice stroll around the pasture, because right now he's just not sure. So what I'm trying to do is break down his desire for treats, that's why I'm not using treats right now. Break down his desire for treats and build a relationship where I'm telling him, "Hey, I like just hanging out with you. I don't have to always be asking you to do something. I think it will be just nice if you ate grass and I stood next to you and scratched your back." So, we're just trying to establish this. This is, like I said, this is the very first session. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. I have done 2 more sessions after this during the same week, and his meetup, his contact, happened much quicker. So like I said, my goal is to get him to just follow me around the pasture. And if I can do that as a basic, well, when we catch, let's just take a stroll around the pasture, and then we'll go back into the barn. And so I think that might strengthen our relationship in the long run with that one, which is something that I strive for anyway. But here he is, checking on his herd, because I feel like he wants to be around me, but he also feels that he's got this responsibility to his herd. And the girls are just standing out of frame, but they're standing at the edge just watching us do this. So like they're real interested. Well, I mean, minus the horse that's just eating grass over there. But the other two that are being dry lotted, they're just standing there watching, somewhat interested in what's going on, it seems. But yeah, the only reward that I'm giving him is some scratches. And as the negative reward, if he gets too close and he doesn't listen to my sound to keep him away, I will walk away. Because I think what seems to be the strongest is he wants to be with me and do stuff and earn whatever, either a treat or some scratches or something. He seems to really enjoy the scratches. But he wants to do that. So if he gets too close and I walk away, he's like, "Hey, where are you going?" And the next two sessions after this, which I didn't record, that's exactly what he did. If he got too close, I walked away. And there was one time he got kind of frustrated. He just kind of squealed and let me walk away. I was about 50 feet away. And he came barreling towards me, and I'm like, oh crap. But he didn't get too close. He stayed within my little small bubble and be like, hey. And he backed off when I made that noise, so I'm like, okay, so we're getting somewhere with this. And like I said, I don't think this would work for absolutely every horse, but with the past 4 years, we've established positive rewards training. He loves his little treats. And by the way, they are non-sugar treats. Like, they are just simple alfalfa, and he gets fed alfalfa every day. Like, sometimes he doesn't finish it, depending on the day. So, like, it's not like he doesn't get it. But he likes my little apple-flavored alfalfa treats. And now, with the Liberty training, I've started incorporating higher value treats. So he has a lower value, which is the treats we've been using, and then higher value, which is the Stanley banana flavored treats, which don't have any sugar. There's some added vitamins and minerals like the other one does, and they are alfalfa based, but they have some sort of banana flavoring, which he absolutely adores bananas in the summer. He just loves them. And like peppermint, he could give or take. Like, he's okay. Like, I even gave him a peppermint treat that did have sugar in it, and he was like, meh. He kind of like mulled it around in his mouth, ate it, nodded, and then he's like, okay, what next? Like, he was not impressed with peppermint. But he does love apples, and he does love bananas. But here we're reaching the end, and he's finally got to the point where he will just hang out with me without having to feel like he has to check on his herd. And he's just eating some grass. And, I could tell that he's specifically eating grass in an area where he wants to be next to me. Because there's a lot better grass around. Like, this grass particular in this corner of his field here is not the best. Like, it's covered in dust. It's low to the ground. It's fall. The grass isn't growing as well. Like, it's end of season. He does not, like, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't just graze on this on his own, because it's not the best grass in his field. But I did move away from him because he is starting to kind of push in on me, because I just stayed stayed stationary, and he started pressing into me physically. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk away. So, like I said, we're trying to reestablish some boundaries because during his itchy time recently, I was inadvertently rewarding him for pressing in on me and crowding me because he was so itchy. I just felt so bad for him, and I started scratching him when he came in on me, and I'm like, why did I do that? I'm not following my own advice, which happens sometimes. Trainers, veterinarians, whatever, like, we gotta follow our own advice. And sometimes, like, I mean, with hoof care and horse care, like, I follow my own advice because that's exactly what I do. I'm only gonna give advice with what I do. But in some situations, I'm a hopeless sap, and sometimes it can be hard. So that, I mean, that's why I understand. Sometimes my students can be struggling with something. I understand. I've got a 5-year-old that I'm starting as well, and he's got his own challenges. And just because I train professionally now, does not mean I don't also face those challenges. I just have more tools in my toolbox to immediately address them. And students are gaining those tools in their toolbox by, you know, accepting instruction. So that's all there is. The only difference between me and my students is that I have more tools in my toolbox, and all I gotta do is share those tools with them, and they'll start having the same tools in their toolbox. So that's really the only difference. Truly. So yeah, we're just enjoying each other's space. And like I said, he seems to be responding to it because the 2 other sessions took less time for him to join up with me and stay. And he seems to be pressing in on my space less. So it's a growing thing, and it's a process for sure. And part of this is also trying to discover his bubble, because horses have their bubbles. They can be big or small. But I'm trying to figure out, like, we're just hanging out. How far away can I go before he starts to decide, hey, you're no longer hanging out with me? And he goes, because he's got his ear on me. You can't see that right here, but he's got his ear on me. He's listening to where I am. He knows. He just has to kind of forage around a little bit more and check it out. And the other thing that I'm trying to do is keep my scratches on that one side of his body. Like, I'm not going to reach around and scratch the other side of his body because I am trying to get him comfortable with me being on the other side and trying to make it his choice. So I can say, okay, I'll scratch you, but it's only going to be on this side since I'm only standing on the side of your body. You have to move around and allow me to scratch the other side of your body, which he's doing. And then he didn't. So, but alright, well, thank you for watching. If you've made it through this entire 20-minute video, check out Patreon, and the further training at Liberty is going to be offered on Patreon only, as a Patreon exclusive. So if you really want to follow our Liberty journey, please become a Patreon supporting member and help us out that way, which is something that I greatly, greatly appreciate. So thank you for being interested, and thank you for viewing this video, and please leave a like and subscribe for more videos. Alright, you have a wonderful day.